Elon Musk, a billionaire in the electronics industry, had no idea that a brief meeting with a stray cat that unexpectedly followed him home would transform his life forever. What occurred next will really warm your heart. Elon Musk had a calm morning. He had just gotten out of his automobile and felt as if he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. He was being pulled in many different directions by the continuous issues with his several firms, including SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink. He was accustomed to this, but today seemed different. It was more exhausting than it usually was. He had no idea that this day was about to take a turn that even someone with his visionary imagination could not have foreseen. Elon saw something unusual out of the corner of his eyes. He was walking toward the door of his SpaceX headquarters. A dirty little cat was hiding beside the sidewalk, its skinny body hardly visible among the busy activity of the city. The cat, which was clearly lost, had filthy fur that was matted from spending days, if not weeks, on the streets, and its eyes conveyed a story of hardship. Elon was taken aback not just by the cat's appearance, but also by the fact that it appeared to be looking directly at him, as if it were attempting to convey a message. He shook his head and let out a soft chuckle. He thought to himself, another cat, and assumed that the animal would soon become bored. However, as he continued to go toward the building, the cat started to follow him. It kept its distance, but it never took its eyes off him. Elon stopped for a while and turned to gaze at the cat. It too halted, sitting on its hind legs and peering up at him with its piercing eyes. Elon mumbled quietly to himself, "Not today, little guy." As he felt the stress of the day starting to increase, he was already behind schedule for an important meeting, and taking the time to feed a stray cat was not part of his plans. However, as he began walking again, the cat continued to follow him, as if it had made a choice to be with him, as if it had decided that Elon Musk was the one for it. He was unable to resist his curiosity. Elon crouched down and reached out his hand to see if the cat would approach him. The cat approached him slowly, rubbing its head against his hand. He was surprised by this. Though for a short while, he was able to forget about the burden of his responsibilities as he concentrated on this little delicate being who had somehow entered his life. However, time was running out, and Elon needed to return to his duties. He assumed he had left the cat behind when he stood up and stepped into the building a few minutes later. Time went by. After a series of meetings, Elon finally left the building later that evening. When he did, he saw the same scruffy cat sitting calmly at the door as if it had been waiting for him to come back. Elon was in disbelief. What was the reason for the cat's presence? It could have gone anywhere, yet here it was, faithful and patient, as if it had nowhere else to go. His sight stirred something deep within of him. Elon, a man who invented rockets and electric automobiles, now felt an overwhelming feeling of obligation toward this animal, which was in a vulnerable position. Once more, he knelt down, and the cat came over right away, rubbing its head on his knee as if to say, "I've been waiting for you." Elon picked up the cat in his arms without really thinking about it. Although he was not the type of person to make decisions on a whim, there was something about this cat that caused him to act on pure instinct. He gazed into its eyes and saw something that he had not seen in a long time, a trust that was pure and steadfast. Elon carried the cat to his car and muttered, "I suppose you're coming with me." The cat cuddled up on the passenger seat and purred quietly as he drove home. Elon grinned for the first time in what felt like forever. It was a real smile that reached his eyes. This little creature seemed to have offered him a moment of tranquility in a life that was otherwise full of chaos. However, it was not the end of the story. In the days that followed, the cat became a constant presence in Elon's life. It would wait at the door every morning for him to leave for work, and every evening it would greet him with the same warmth and patience as it had on the first day. Elon was looking forward to these moments, even though they were minor in a life that was otherwise full of stress and high-stakes judgments. But, one night, things changed. Elon returned home, later than he often does, feeling worn out from a series of meetings and some unanticipated obstacles. When he walked into his house, he noticed that the cat was not sitting at the door waiting for him like it often did. He was worried and scoured the home, calling for the cat. It was nowhere to be found, even after several minutes had gone by. A panic started to take hold. How could it have been released? He looked in every nook and cranny of the home, but he could not find the cat anywhere. Elon was determined and hurried outdoors to look around the neighboring streets. The darkness of the night and the silence were both frightening. He heard a faint meowing coming from a neighboring alleyway. Just as he was ready to give pee, he followed the sound with his heart racing and discovered the cat lying next to a mound of trash. The cat was hurt and could hardly move. Elon immediately picked up the cat and hurried it to the closest veterinarian without thinking twice. The hours that came after were excruciating. Elon, who had usually remained calm in the most stressful situations, was feeling anxious and paced back and forth while the veterinarian examined the cat. The diagnosis was not good. The cat had been struck by a car and had several broken bones. Surgery was necessary, but there was still no assurance that it would survive. Elon felt helpless for the first time in years. This little cat, who had been so loyal to him, was now struggling to survive. He had no choice but to wait. The surgery lasted for hours, and every minute felt like it was dragging on forever. At last, the veterinarian appeared, looking both exhausted and relieved. The procedure was successful. The little guy is tough. The veterinarian added, giving Elon a slight smile. Elon was overcome with a sense of relief. The cat would make it through. For the next 2 weeks, Elon took care of the cat himself, making sure it had all it needed to get better. It took a long time, but the cat ultimately got his strength back. Soon enough, it was back to its normal habit of waiting by the door for Elon every day. As time passed and weeks evolved into months, Elon came to the realization that this stray cat was more than just a pet. It had become into a symbol, a reminder that there is always space for kindness, compassion, and unexpected connections, even during the busiest and most overwhelming times in life. Ultimately, the stray cat that had been following Elon Musk became a permanent fixture in his life. To the rest of the world, Elon was a man who was changing the future of technology, but to this one small cat, he was simply the person who had provided it love and care when it needed it the most. And for Elon, that was a type of success that could never be duplicated, no matter how much money or innovation was involved. For Elon, rescuing a stray cat was a simple act of charity that had evolved into something far more profound, something that even he could not have anticipated. It wasn't only about providing the cat with a place to live, it was also about the subtle lessons that the cat had taught him over their time together. Life, with all its intricacies, can be reduced to simple moments of connection and compassion. Elon was accustomed to thinking about big ideas such as colonizing Mars, changing transportation around the world, and creating advanced artificial intelligence. However, this small creature, which seemed unimportant, had reminded him of the importance of the present moment and of small acts of kindness that could make a big difference. Elon frequently thought about how much the cat trusted him and how that confidence never wavered. That was a humbling experience. Without any hesitation, this small, defenseless animal had entrusted its life to him. Over the course of the months, he discovered that the connection they shared had transformed into something he anticipated on a daily basis. Regardless of how difficult a day was or how complicated the business difficulties he encountered were, the simple pleasure of coming home to find the cat waiting for him was enough to keep him grounded and remind him of the importance of life's simpler moments. At first, Elon did not understand how much the cat relied on him, not only for existence, but also for companionship. The cat would follow him around the house every evening when he arrived home. He would rub against his legs, purr quietly, and curl up next to him while he worked late into the night. Elon started to realize that he had also become reliant on the cat's existence. In a way, was soothing in a way that no amount of accomplishment could ever replace. He started to tell the story to his family and close friends. Elon initially dismissed it as the billionaire and his stray, but he understood deep down that it was more than just that. The cat had reached a part of his heart that had been buried for a long time under layers of ambition, worry, and the never-ending chase of success. In a sense, this small, unremarkable creature had given him something that money could never buy: a new way of looking at things. As the weeks stretched into months, the stray became a regular part of Elon's life. His children loved the cat, and even his friends would say that he appeared to be more relaxed and grounded than he had been before. The cat had unintentionally become a symbol in his life, reminding him that no matter how large your aspirations are or how far you strive, there is always significance in the simplest and most unexpected moments. However, life, which is full of surprises, has more surprises in store. Elon was getting ready for another meeting one day when the cat did not come to the door to greet him. Initially, he dismissed it, supposing that it was simply roaming around the home and possibly taking a nap somewhere. However, after a few minutes had passed and the cat still had not shown up, he started to get worried. He looked in every room and called out softly, but there was no trace of the cat anywhere. Panic started to take hold. The previous time the cat went missing, it had been struck by a car. Is it possible that something like this has happened again? Elon stepped outside, his heart racing as he searched the neighborhood for any sign of the cat. He requested that his security staff assist in the search, but after hours of looking, they were unable to find the cat. Elon experienced a sudden feeling of guilt. Did he not appreciate the cat's loyalty? Or was he so preoccupied with his work that he failed to see the indications that something was amiss? The cat had been such an important part of his life, but now it was gone. Elon was surprised by how deeply he felt the emptiness it left behind. Days went by, and Elon attempted to continue with his normal routine, but he was burdened by the fact that the cat was no longer there. He came to the conclusion that even though he had accomplished a lot in his career, the death of this little animal had affected him more than any other setback he'd ever had in his professional life. His life was quieter and the house felt more empty. He missed the way the cat would wrap up next to him while he worked, the quiet purring that had become a soothing background noise in his chaotic life. As Elon was starting to lose hope, something incredible occurred while he was sitting on his porch one evening. Pondering the cat and the unusual turn of events, he heard a soft meow. His heart skipped a beat. He rose up and listened carefully, and there it was again, faint but definite. Elon hurried to the edge of his land and called out softly. Then from the shadows, the stray cat that he recognized appeared, hobbling a little but still alive. Elon bent down and scooped the cat into his arms, feeling a combination of relief and great joy. The cat purred gently and rubbed against him, as if to say, "This is where I belong." At that moment, Elon understood that the cat had faced its own hardships and fought its own battles to stay alive, but it had managed to return to him. It was a demonstration of the strength of life and the connections that may be made in the most unexpected situations. The cat was no longer just a pet, it had become a representation of endurance, devotion, and the profound, unexpressed bonds that can develop between sentient beings. After that day, Elon made it a point to set aside time for the cat despite his busy schedule. It wasn't only about providing it with food or taking care of it. It was about recognizing the significance of those small, quiet moments of connection that can frequently be forgotten in the quest of achievement. The cat had given him a gift that was worth more than any commercial transaction or innovation, a reminder of the simple pleasures in life. As time went on, Elon developed a lasting bond with the cat, and it became a regular part of his day-to-day life. It reminded him to take a break, to breathe, and to appreciate the world around him, not only as a businessman or an innovator, but as a human being. On the cat, which had previously been a stray that had followed him on a whim, had found a permanent place in both his heart and his home. Ultimately, it was not the billions of dollars or the groundbreaking inventions that had the biggest impact on Elon's life. It was a stray cat. This simple creature entered his life when he least expected it and stuck around, teaching him lessons about love, loyalty, and the power of unexpected connections. And for Elon, that was the most wonderful, life-changing moment of all. It was not merely a passing thought, it was a significant change in the way he viewed things. He was reminded that the most valuable lessons in life often come from the most unexpected places every time he glanced at the cat, who was now peacefully snuggled up in its favorite area at his home. The stray taught him the value of being present, as well as patience and empathy, qualities that could not be replaced by any amount of wealth or success. Elon started to put these principles into practice not only at home, but also at work, leading his teams with a new sense of compassion, passion, and mindfulness. Elon's public image likewise appeared to become less harsh over time. He was not only the determined visionary who was pushing mankind to reach Mars, he was also a man who understood the importance of simplicity and of valuing the connections we have with other living creatures. Which is always looking for news, took notice of this small change. Some headlines read, "The stray that changed Elon Musk," highlighting how one little cat had an impact on the life of one of the most influential people in the world. However, for Elon, it was not about the headlines or the attention. It was about the subtle personal change in the way he conducted his daily existence. He came to understand that greatness was not just about conquering space, but also about cherishing the little moments on Earth. The tie between Elon and the cat was strong, serving as a daily reminder of the delicate yet significant relationships that define our lives. As the years went by, both the cat and Elon aged, but their bond remained strong throughout. Ultimately, Elon saw that the cat had given him more than he could ever repay. It had given him a view into the gentler side of life, which helped him find balance and stability and eventually made him a better person, not just a billionaire, but a human being who was capable of deep caring and connection. And for that, Elon was eternally thankful. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this heartfelt story. Elon Musk, a man renowned for his grand visions and groundbreaking innovations, found his life profoundly changed by the smallest, most unexpected encounter, a stray cat that taught him the value of simplicity, compassion, and connection. As this tale reminds us all that amidst our busy lives, it's often the quiet, unassuming moments that bring us the greatest joy and teach us the most enduring lessons. If this story warmed your heart, inspired you, or simply made you reflect, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Velvet Sovereigns. We have even more captivating and inspiring stories coming your way, stories that celebrate the power of kindness, humanity, and resilience. Together, let's continue to explore tales that uplift and unite us all. See you in the next video.